Take the Nintendo Shack and pray. Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening says, yo.
Greetings, Kooplings, and welcome back to the Nintendo Shack. Nintendo Shack episode 180, aptly titled, The Bottom of the Barrel.
No joke.
We don't have much in the ways of news and stuff that's going on this week, and that's okay. Not every week can be a blockbuster. That's why the professionals do it, right? Gotta fill the air somehow. I do want to go ahead and start the show by making sure that everybody is reminded that May 10th, we are closing down the PSVG Podcast Network master feed. We have a feed out there. If you're subscribed to it, the one feed that has all of our shows on it, we're shutting that down May 10th. Please go subscribe to our show's individual feeds as soon as you can. I'm going to try my best to save the feed. If it doesn't work and it just disappears that day, like I've made peace with that.
Good. I'm
like
glad
if
you
it
did.
just goes away, like I'm fine with that. So hopefully we don't leave anybody else behind. So definitely make sure that you are aware of that. Likewise, I'd like to thank all of those that support us over on our Patreon at patreon.com/PSVG. So thank you to our on-air producers, Michael Masick, Barry Cathcart, Edwin Callow, Stephen Keller, Nick Creature, Rude Days 93, Ben Moxham, Rob Emanuel, Nick Fallhaber, Paul Calico, Kyle Hyman, Grouchy Surge, Devin Tyus, Josh Borboni, RJ Kern. I could never get through this without like
Doing
one rum burp. Like I can never make my way through it. Horse Girl 69.
Nice.
And Zachary Adams. Thank you guys for all that you do to support us over there. I hope you guys are enjoying your early access to Sweet Hangs. We just dropped Doolin Whiskeys. So hopefully you guys are enjoying your extra PSVG DLC audio. Guys,
Donnie,
I was going to come in here and just be like, I ain't playing a damn thing. Because I really haven't.
Yeah.
If you haven't listened to the Xbox Empire, I've been sick. Remember that cough? Mm-hmm. Remember that cough last week? Yeah, it got real bad. Bad.
Just festered.
It just got so bad. I have an ear infection. It's the first ear infection I've ever had.
Those always suck, man.
They're not fun.
It doesn't. It felt bad. So, like, all right. So Thursday I've got the cough. I'm like, guys, I think something's coming on. Friday the cough is like a lot. I'm coughing up stuff. Mm-hmm. Couldn't sleep Friday night, like at all. And I mean, like couldn't sleep. I don't mean like I slept for 6 hours. I mean like I didn't sleep. Like all night.
That's the worst.
I reached the end of my podcast queue. Like that's how much I didn't sleep. And Saturday, I laid in my chair all day. Home alone, by the way. Melissa had left. She had the weekend away. So I laid in my chair all day. Couldn't sleep Saturday night either. Coughing, sneezing, hacking, can't breathe. No fever. Right? If that fever come on,
it wasn't COVID.
I would have been real scared. If that fever would have been on, I would have been real scared, but I couldn't.
Oh, no.
Wake up Sunday, and the ear is so sore. And, like, I can't hear, which, by the way, like, a silver lining. You guys watch The Office?
Yep.
So there's the Office episode where the guy in the warehouse, like, they're hiring extra guys in the warehouse. Mm-hmm. And he's like, it's not that I have a disability. I can hear, but sometimes I can't hear as well out of the one ear. So if you could, I've been doing that to my wife nonstop, like all week. Yesterday she called me for dinner and I didn't hear her. And like when I'm watching TV, the TV's cranked up like twice. Like I can't really hear it.
You got that clogged, man. You know?
So every time she's like, I called you. And I remind her, I'm like, it's not that I can't hear per se. I can hear. I just don't hear well. So I haven't been playing much. I felt so bad over the weekend. I literally didn't play games. Normally that's what I do when I'm sick is I sit down and play games. But like I was tired.
You just couldn't focus at all. You just had to
it takes a
rest.
lot out of you.
Yeah. So I didn't want to. So I was going to say I didn't play a damn thing, but that is not the case. because today I bought a game that just released on Switch called Effie.
Okay.
Have you guys seen or heard of this game?
No.
Nope.
Effie just released today. I honestly wasn't even going to buy it. It doesn't look super great. So like I got my Switch right in front of me. That's kind of like what it looks like. And Effie is a 3D platformer adventure game.
Okay.
Not unlike, like a Zelda or things like that.
Yeah.
I've only played it for a couple hours. So here's the thing. I saw the trailer. Nintendo released a trailer for today. I saw the trailer and I was like, man, that looks kind of good. And then I immediately was like, all right, let's go check out a review. Apparently it's a PlayStation 4 exclusive. Came out like 2 years ago. Shows you
This is so
how
random.
little connected I am to the PlayStation news. I had never heard
I
of
don't
this
think
game.
most people from Sony know that. Like
I was
PlayStation
gonna
fans
say,
know
I feel
that.
like this is a game that probably didn't get a lot of attention.
Like
Yeah.
Jim Ryan didn't know that.
It's like, we got exclusives, right?
Yeah. So it's got good reviews, some middling
Okay.
reviews, but good reviews. Got really high scores on Steam. I say middling reviews, lots of 7s and 8s, which I think
That's
pretty
good.
good. Yeah, that's pretty good. And I got nothing to play, and I thought it looked cool. It is kind of my jam. That's kind of the games that I get really into, right? So I was like, all right, I'll wait for a sale or something. And then I would go to the eShop and it's on sale. It's one of those Switch games that launches with a sale. Like it just launches into a discount. So it's originally $20. You can get it on sale for like $15. It's like $15.50.
Not bad at all.
Yeah. So I was like, let's try it. So I started playing it. You do jump around the platforms. You jump across the things. You
platformer.
shimmy across the ledge. You jump across the gap. It's a little clunky. Kind of feels like Minecraft mechanics. Kind of.
Ooh.
It's not first person, right? It's third person, but it kind
Okay.
of feels it like you're just kind of blocky, directional. Combat's weird because you can't like lock on to enemies. So you just kind of smash buttons and like kind of point your stick around. Not
You
unlike
like bounce around or something, or
no, but it's like a lot of swinging and missing. Like
Oh.
just even early on in the game, like the enemies are swirling, like they're circling me. And like without being able to target or like direction, I just kind of swing and I might go like, just to the left of them or to the right of them. That's a little annoying.
do you know when it attacks the monster? Like,
Yeah.
is there some sort
Yeah,
of
I mean,
reaction?
it does a little thing. Animations. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Kind of janky.
Yeah.
I open
Okay.
a chest and like he hits his hands on the chest to break it open, but you have
I've
to
seen
do it
that
like
before.
3 times and
Oh.
it doesn't really look smooth. It looks kind of like Donkey Kong, like the original Donkey Kong, like the hands
what's
are up
up.
and they're suddenly down and you didn't see kind of what happened in between.
It's like the
kinda
Congo
clunky.
game.
But that aside, yeah, we've got Franco Miguel shield surfing. You do have shield surfing. That's the thing. The game has like a magical shield, and you go into the temple and they give you a magical shield, and it does have like these kind of open areas that you can kind of surf around in and fight the monsters and collect the stuff. I'm enjoying collecting the things. It's pretty good. I mean, I'm not going to review it. Like I said I've only played it for a couple hours, but I'm not let down by what I've paid to play. It feels about right. 7, 8. It's not amazing.
Is
but
there any novelty to it? Like, is there one
it
thing
feels nostalgic.
Okay.
Like if you're just wanting, something. I don't want to say Zelda, but like if you want something, that's like exploring like that.
Yeah.
Like it kind of feels like that, kind of.
Cool.
That's like the best thing about it. I'm more excited to talk about this, Garrett. See
Oh,
this
is that
thing?
your Bluetooth thingy?
Oh, I was gonna get one of those.
Is that a
Do you
Steel
like
Series
it?
one or the? Which
This is
one
from
is it?
Skull and Company.
Oh, okay.
The same folks that make my grip case that I use on my Switch. And the reason that I got it is because this one is specifically made to fit flush with their case.
Oh,
That's really nice.
Yeah. It comes with all these different adapters. So if you don't want to use the case, you can make it fit flush with the Switch on its own. Or if you have a bigger case, like if you have a case that's not theirs, they have all these different adapters that kind of fill the gap. Garrett, I told you I didn't want Bluetooth in the Switch Pro.
I know, right?
I'm ready to change.
Yeah.
Change my opinion on those.
We kind of need it.
Yeah, yeah,
this
I'm ready
point.
to change because about a month ago, I got the AirPod Pros,
I
and
have
Yeah.
those.
I love these. Like they are just
How much are they? Are they like
amazing
$100 or something?
They're
They're
more
like
than that.
200. I
Yeah,
think.
they're a little
I
bit more
got
than that.
my Bluetooth headphones for like $15 and they work perfectly
I've
fine.
had those, Garrett. I've had those same Bluetooth headphones for 5 years, and I've been telling all these people that spend all this money on Bluetooth headphones that they're crazy and it's obscene. It's not for the AirPod Pros. The AirPod Pros are worth it. They sound amazing. The noise
do sound
cancellation is
Yeah.
amazing. Garrett, when I cut my yard, my lawnmower, I have a riding lawnmower. When I put these on and activate that, my riding lawnmower fades into the background. It's insane.
That's kind of
It
good.
is a remarkable difference.
I'm sitting on it.
I'm sure. I'm still not paying $200 for those tiny little
I
things.
use
So.
it when I'm driving, like if I need to like call or whatever.
Sure,
Or not
yeah.
like not just driving, but like even if I like because I get these right around when the pandemic started. So like any phone call that I need to make, like whether I'm driving or not, I don't put my phone up to my face anymore. Do you know how many germs are on your phone screen? I just use.
I wipe my phone every
Get that
day
ear
now.
infection, right?
Yeah, you could get ear infections. Exactly. Exactly.
So the first thing I did, right, I plugged it in, I paired up to my AirPods, I throw them on. I'm like, let's see what this is all about. Play Ori for 5 minutes. I'm like, I never don't want to play like this now.
Exactly. Yeah. Bluetooth headphones are a game changer, man.
I now want to play everything just like this forever, like on my Switch. And
It's so nice, especially when traveling too, because like you could just keep your headphones on, and then during the airplane ride, don't have to mess with wires. Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah. So I'm
need it.
converted. I'm converted over. Like now I want the Switch Pro to have, like if it doesn't, like I got my little thing here. This is great, but I'd prefer not to have to try it. Like it's small. I am kind of concerned that I'm just going to leave it in my case because I am kind of concerned I'd leave it somewhere or it'd fall out or something.
Is there another port behind, like below it to charge it, or is it
Nope.
just
It
that?
runs
Okay.
off the Switch battery.
Got it.
That's it.
I think the Steel Series one. Oh, I'll have to check. There's one of them that has a port right below it, so you can do other things other than
And
the
you can
Bluetooth.
connect multiple pairs of headphones to it at once,
That's nice.
which is kind of cool. So like you could play with a friend, like you could both have headphones and play with this if you wanted to. I have no idea where that situation exists, but I'm sure it does somewhere. But like to me, I was like, yeah, I'm never going to do that. So
Yeah.
but it's cool. Paired to the AirPod Pros right away.
Nice. Switch
So
Pro,
that's
man.
it for me. I got you. I gave you guys 10 minutes. What about you? Come on, Rebecca.
Come on, Rebecca.
Unfortunately, the game that I've been playing, I can't go into too much detail about, but I can next week.
right.
I'm playing something for review.
can
and I'm
next
having
week?
A lot of fun with it.
What comes out next week? What could it be?
Well, today came out A Tale of Your Trilogy, so if you're
Oh.
reviewing that, Rebecca, you could tell us.
I think
Okay.
Donnie's reviewing it.
Oh, okay, yeah, right behind
No,
with his Vita.
I am having a lot of fun with the game that I've been playing, and I'm very excited to talk about it next week. It's like kind of weird because when the timing with our podcast is Thursday, it's like the day before the game comes out. Like I can talk a little bit more about it, but the embargo notes for this game are like long. Like there's
As
a
they
lot of
should
things
be.
I'm not allowed
As
to
they
talk
should
about.
be.
As
Yeah,
they
and
should be.
I realized like if you're trying to go into this game like as spoiler free as possible, do not look at the trailers. I went back and looked at the
I haven't
trailers
seen
and
any of
they
the
give
trailers.
away a lot of stuff.
Nope.
I have
which
no
guess
idea
it's
what you're talking about.
kind of hard to wait, do you actually not know?
No, I'm
Okay,
just.
okay. I haven't been very like secretive about it.
Well, you know,
I'm
there's
sure
somebody.
there's listeners who have no idea what I'm talking
There's
about.
somebody out there. They're like, what is it?
There's a game that's coming out that I'm reviewing. I am having a lot of fun with it. And there's stuff that next week I'll be able to talk about that doesn't give away a whole lot. But there's a lot of things that I won't be able to talk about that I can't wait to talk about the following week. So,
Yeah.
or like whenever, whatever week we do end up talking about
I'm
it.
Zero Dark 30. I don't want to see it. I haven't
Yeah.
seen a trailer.
Don't look at
I
the
haven't
trailers.
wanted to see a trailer.
Mhm.
They keep have they released
put
like
out more and
4?
more.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I feel like
So
it's
much.
a hard game to really, I guess, advertise and market because that's what the game is and like what the lore of the game is. I really think that this game could benefit from a demo of just playing the first course.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of magic in that first course.
It's a tough sell. Like there's some people that look at it at face value. You're like, I'm not going to.
You don't really know what it is or what it's about. But I think after you do, I think that would be a perfect demo. It's a very small portion of the game. Just one course. Let people get a feel for it. Maybe play it as many times as you want. Try to get as best pictures as you can. I feel like it's the kind of game where they might put the demo out later to try to sell more copies, I guess.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
that makes sense.
Get excited. What I can talk about, though, is I started this game so old. Like, you guys are probably going to make fun of me for
I love this game.
starting this. But the Telltale The Walking Dead.
Yes.
I'm sure everybody's played it by this point. But I started that. I played the first, what is it, chapter or episode or whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Which I've been meaning to play this game for a long time because I've heard it has kind of that same, vibe as Life is Strange, where you make decisions and you get real connected to the characters and whatnot. And I'm not really all big on the zombie part of it. I'm not really big into that kind of games. Mm-hmm. But I already really love Clementine. I love the character. Who's the character I play as? Lee Everett? Is that his name?
Yeah.
He's real cool. I like the story of it, the aspect with his family and stuff.
When you get to the last chapter, please let me know before you stream it.
I think I know what happens.
That's
I don't
fine.
know everything.
That's fine.
I don't really know too much about the game. I think I
still want to watch you play it.
Okay.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't care. I don't care if you did know about it. I still want to watch you play it.
Let's see your reaction.
Yeah, I don't know a lot, and I don't even know if what I know is.
I don't
correct.
think knowing it ruins it. It's it's the weight of it. It's the seeing it is
to get to there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, in this first episode, there was already a really powerful scene with him and his brother, and I was because I didn't know about that.
Mm-hmm.
I was so sad.
This is one of the most impactful games. When people ask us about those questions, when we get those types of questions right around Life is Strange releases, this is the game that started that for me. And I think for, I just say millions of people, this was a huge game. It was like game of the year when it came out.
I think this is the first game that opened me up to, choice-based narrative games.
Yeah.
This is the first one.
Yep, and it's great. I've played it a few times. I played it the first time on 360. I think I played it again on 360 with my wife. I've played it again on Switch. I own the first season on Switch.
Mm-hmm.
I've been meaning to play this for a really long time, and I'm finally getting to it. And I am looking forward to it a lot. And I like when I do like the episode kind of format of it, where I can kind of play it in chunks. It feels like a natural stopping point. I can kind of take a couple of days or a week from it, kind of turn that over in my head, and then keep playing.
And that first season feels very episodic. The
really
episodes
does,
feel episodic. It doesn't feel like, all right, we're just stopping you and we'll continue on with the next one. Every chapter is different, like a different episode of the story. Yeah. They're different enough, just even the characters, the setting, what's happened, even the main plot of every episode, not the overarching plot, but the main focus of every individual episode is greatly different from the one you had before it. So in that way, I agree with you. And that's one of the things that I wished Life is Strange or some of the other games that have tried to do it. I wish they did more of that. I think Life is Strange 2 did.
I was gonna ask if Life is Strange 2 is similar, because I feel like that one was very you could play it in just episode.
There were 5 mini games.
It kind of told its own story.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
That's why when Life is Strange True Colors came out and everybody was like, it's not episodic anymore, that's where some of that I was just like, I like it when it's done well. I was not the person who's like, oh, I don't like that, I'll wait for them all to come out. I like the episodic part when done well. When done well, when done on time. I think they could add something to a game. I don't necessarily look at it as a bad thing.
I think so.
Yeah, I like the length of the episodic games too. It's just 3 hours, and it's self-containing, and then you could just take a break right afterwards. I don't get doing more than one episode and go another hour and a half in a second episode. It just doesn't make sense. There's people
that wait and then they play all 9 hours at once.
That's weird to me.
Process it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
no.
Yeah, and I think for True Colors, it just maybe I wouldn't want them to force it into episodes if it didn't feel like it naturally kind of had those breaking points.
Sure.
You said, Garrett, it is kind of it could be a self-contained thing.
Tell me why didn't really feel episodic to me.
No, it didn't.
That was one continuous story.
Yeah.
I'm glad it was just 3 episodes too. It was just, get over.
But Life is Strange 2, those were completely different.
Definitely
Yeah.
episodic.
For sure, for sure. One other thing that I'm not playing yet, but I made a fancy purchase, which was kind of spur of the moment. But I'm
Good.
really glad that I did. Do you guys ever hear of the Super NT from Analog?
Not until
It
you
came
told
out
me about
I've
it.
heard of
A
it.
couple years
But-
ago.
I want to commend you and congratulate you because I like nothing more than when my friends buy silly things or impulsive things.
Well,
So-
I don't need this at all, and it's not cheap, and it sold out like in minutes. And I think that's part of why I really wanted to get one. So this, like I said, it came out a couple years ago, I think 2018, and it's been like sold out for a long time. Like I think they put out new stock like every once in a while, like every couple of months or years or something. And so my friend was getting one, and I was originally gonna try to buy one for him if he couldn't get one and sell it to him. But he got one, and I'm like, you know what? I kind of want to keep this. It is a modern Super Nintendo that works
Hold
with
it up.
HDMI.
More?
Yeah, and like I got it in black. It comes in lots of different colors.
Oh, it's thick.
But it's all sold out now. What? It's thin. It's like
Oh, okay.
real
It's this
little.
little,
Okay.
that
But
little
it's
guy.
not like it's not an emulation machine. This doesn't emulate. You use your
Right,
original
you use the
cartridges
analog.
in it.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
But it's HDMI, and apparently it is the best way to play. Like,
Does it do any like
Super Nintendo
up-resing
games.
or anything like that?
I believe it does.
Okay.
It does. I haven't tried it out yet, so I can't tell you how good that is. But if you like want to play your original Super Nintendo carts like without going through the process of like getting an adapter, you want to like plug them into HDMI onto a big screen. It's apparently the best way to do it.
Is
Awesome.
it just Super Nintendo for that system? I guess.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then it came
Awesome.
with like it comes with the director's cut for Super Turrican, which apparently was not released at the time but was developed. Something about not releasing due to lack of space on the carts at the time. So it comes with like the director's cut of that game.
Cool.
But I recently, for my birthday, got a copy of Chrono Trigger, the original.
Yes.
card. So that is
Whoa.
probably
Love
the
it.
first thing that I'm going to play on it.
Mint in
Nice.
box.
Yes. Yes, I did.
Nice.
Oh my
I love it.
it's-
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. It's sitting over on my shelf
That's a good
right there.
purchase.
I love it.
Dang.
Yeah.
So, if you continue on with The Walking Dead, I'd be very excited to hear what you think of the other games because
Mhm.
I feel like, at least around PSVG land, I think I was the only person that went all the way through the final chapter.
'Cause
I remember the
there's,
final
like-
chapter came out. I was really excited for it, and like nobody else even
Crickets.
played it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember thinking, I was like, this is a big game for Switch. And people were like, no, it's not. Everybody was kind of done. I think maybe Mo was there because Mo was really big on these games too.
Mhm.
But it's a journey from start to finish.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
you
excited.
go places
Mhm.
with Clementine.
I'm very excited. And I love when like it's strong characters and sad. And you guys know I love it when games make me really sad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I finished with the second season. I didn't go with the third or fourth season, but I have all of them. I just need to go back and finish that out.
Yeah, I think a lot of people quit on the second season, and then they did the spin-off with like Michonne, and I think a lot of people just bounced. But then here's the thing, the final season I really liked. I did.
Okay.
I don't. The final ending wasn't exactly like what I would have done, but the final season looks great. It's got a great look to it. It really doubles down on the comic look, and it's really like sharp and contrasty. It's got a great visual flair. So
Glad they pulled through with that.
one of my favorite
finished it
franchises,
out.
and I'd be very excited to see Wolf Among Us 2. I hope it comes with like, well, we already have the definitive edition of Wolf, so I guess it wouldn't. I would like to see Wolf come to Switch. That'd be great.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great one. That's one of my favorites.
What have you, Garrett?
Still Persona Strikers, man. No joke. 30 hours in. I'm loving it now.
Yeah,
I'm
I
actually-
saw your tweet. You said
Yeah.
it picked up a little.
Yeah, after 20 hours, it picks up, Donnie.
Great,
You're-
fantastic.
You're ready to jump in?
My favorite kind of games.
Yes, of course. Nah, so I defeated the third jail from last time, and I was like, again, another cookie cutter jail,
Oh.
whatever.
That's too much.
Very typical. And then jail 4 came in, and they're now messing with the main plot and the main story and going to different places. It's not like too unexpected, but it at least gives some backstory and motivation of the overarching villain or whatever. Still predictable. So I'm on the second to last jail, I think, or the final jail, one of the two. But I'm getting very close. I've done every side quest so far, so I'm for sure probably gonna do the platinum of this game. So I'm setting up to be really nice. Yeah, still enjoying my time with it. Sorry, I got nothing else other than Persona Stray. Sorry. Couple of Monster Hunter hunts, but that's pretty much it. That's just gonna be my life for like the next few months. Maybe sprinkling tiny little games here and there, but yeah.
On slow news day, we're not playing anything like that we can talk about in length.
I know, right?
No.
I mean, nothing's coming out really.
Not till next week.
Not till yeah.
I've been preparing for this month and a half for what? Since January?
Mm-hmm.
Like after that first direct, remember I said I was really hoping one of the few of these games were kind of in this April to May window because it's a little light until we get to June.
Yeah.
Now, Donnie, for Pokemon Snap, will you stop playing after you finish the story, or will you try to get like one of every Pokemon?
No, I won't do that either. It'll be somewhere in between there. No, I won't do that either. I'll probably play through twice on my own, and then I'll kind of maybe start looking at YouTubes and be like, what's the cool stuff that I missed? And then I'll probably go back and play some more. I don't know if Jack will get into it or not. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I'll at least go through it twice. And here's the other thing. If I see something that catches my eye, like in a chapter, I'll probably replay that twice, like just right then and there, just to see, like, I wonder if I do this, what'll happen.
You have to do that anyway.
Okay,
Yeah.
that works for me.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely do that, and then I think I'll play it twice before I lift my head up and go, okay, what did I just not figure out? You know,
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of stuff like that in the first Pokemon Snap. I remember it was like for years after that game came out, I was finding out stuff I just didn't even know. I was like, wait, you can do that? So yeah.
Yep. I think there will be a lot of that, and I think nowadays it's like with the internet and stuff.
Yeah,
like, we're
of
going to be
course.
talking, and I'm sure we're going to be like, "Did you see the boo doo 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 doo?"
That's the difference, right? Back then, we didn't have podcasts, internet. Like, I'm sure every secret from this game will be discovered within 5 hours of it being released. Like, it'll have already been done, and that's why I want to go into it as completely blind as possible, because that's the fun part. And like there is something like that. I want to discover at least some things first on my own.
Yeah, I would definitely say there are some wow moments that if you saw a screenshot, that would ruin it for you. So stay offline. Stop looking at the trailers, you guys.
Can't wait to see all of it on Twitter. It's coming a bunch of photos. Sounds like cool Pokemon and just going
way off. Speaking of photos, Garrett, Nintendo has teamed up with Fujifilm to allow players to print physical screenshots from their Nintendo Switch. You'll be able to transfer these screenshots using the Mini Link app by scanning a QR code. This little Fujifilm thing is a physical printer, which they've already had in production for their Instax film camera thing. I actually give a lot of props to Rebecca. She recommended me that I get one of these for Victoria for Christmas last year, which I did. Yeah, you did.
I remember that.
And it was a huge hit. I told her, I was like, hey, I got you something, because my daughter, I don't like buying gift cards for gifts. I like to try and come up with something that I think would be good. So I bought her a whole kit, right? She got the camera, she got the case, she got the frames, she got the films, she got all kinds of different wackies. She loves it. And I thought she would, because she loves the Instagram, like all the girls, right? She loves Instagram. So this is a way for her. She actually has... She'll hate that I say this. A few times she has either done Jack's chores or paid Jack to go take photos of her using the camera. So she'll go pose like in the street or in the trees or something, and he'll shoot the camera. So they make these little printers for those where you can actually print out little things. Now, the cool thing about this, I guess, is that they're doing a special Pikachu version. It's the same printer, but it slides into like a Pikachu holder, so it looks like Pikachu. And then I guess they're doing like some custom filters and frames and stuff for that as well.
I think there's going to be an app on your phone that you can sync with it your screenshots and print out your pictures.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Printer's $100. If you want the Pikachu one, it's $120. I mean, I'm not going to get it. That seems like a lot.
Is it coming out here or is it just in Japan?
It's coming out here too. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Cool. Here as well. I know. Here's the thing: if you're a collector, I would absolutely snap one up. If you're a Pokemon collector or a Switch collector, because I bet you they don't make a lot of these.
Probably
it's
not.
gonna be rare.
It's gonna be a limited run, and like you could probably flip it in a couple years for twice.
It really reminds me of printing out your pictures at Blockbuster.
Yeah.
For the Pokemon Snap thing, but this is going to be compatible with other games too. Like there's Animal Crossing filters and stuff like that. So like you could use it for other games too.
So a lot of people say it's a Game Boy had like a little printer with it,
like the Game Boy printer. Yeah, it's like a little novelty like that, I think. So it reminds me of that, and that's kind of why I want to get it. What was I going to say? The thought escaped me. Man, I hate when that happens. I'll think of it, but
I'm not getting it either.
Yeah, no, this is way too much money, and like it's weird because I kind of look at this in the way I'm like, kind of like a bygone era. Like,
it's a little antique, right?
It's just like
it's a little nostalgic.
I get that, like it used to have it,
that's what I was
and like
gonna say.
you might be nostalgic for it, but like I look at this and I'm like, there's a reason why we don't do this anymore.
It's seen as like retro and trendy now. The Polaroid thing, like that kind of, you know how
it's
that's
vintage,
all coming back,
right?
like things from those decades, like 70s, 80s, 90s. Like I think like 90s trends, especially right now. Not that this is 90s, but like these trends from way back, like these retro things are coming back with kids now. Like kids, like you said, like your daughter, she really likes that Polaroid thing. Like she could just be taking a picture, you know, with a phone, but she prefers to do that because
it blew her mind
retro.
when I explained to her that she had limited amount of shots. I was like, look, this film can only take you so far.
It's perishable, man.
She was like, and it's really not a lot. Like I bought the packs of film and I don't remember what it is, but I want to say it's like 10, 20 shots per pack. Packs are like $15-$20.
And you can't redo it either. You take the picture and that's what you get.
Yeah, because on Instagram, like she'll take 60 photos of one post.
And pick one.
And pick one. I'm like, this is insanity.
We're spoiling them, man.
She's like, Dad, this is what everybody does. And I'm like, everybody? And like her friend had a burner Instagram account. She's in 7th grade.
No, yeah, that's a thing. That is a thing.
Welcome to 2021.
There's a special name for it. I wish I could remember what it's called, but kids do have like a burner Instagram account that they only like talk to their closest friends on.
Yeah.
And
there's
they
like
can
a
post like
public
silly
persona
pictures.
and a private persona.
What's wrong with these
that's what it
kids?
is.
And I'm like, how conceited are you
Friendsta?
that you
it's called,
think
like, Friendsta or
the
something.
world cares enough that you need two? Like,
Well,
It
they
means
put
the
their,
world to them, man.
their ideal life on their public Instagram for like their
ideal
school to see, and
Again.
then kind of like the silly personal stuff that they only want their close friends to see.
I restate my original statement.
I'm not defending it. I'm just saying what it is.
It's like some American Psycho stuff or something.
This is Black Mirror stuff going on, man.
Yeah, it blew my mind when I tried to figure out how my daughter does Instagram. I don't have the gram. I don't do it for the gram, so I have now officially feel old. I've often felt young until this very moment. Instagram was the
Wait till
moment
you
I was
hear
like,
TikTok, man.
I was gonna
old.
say they're moving away from Instagram. It's TikTok.
TikTok I get because I love Vine.
And Visco.
I don't even know what that is.
What is that one?
Visco. It's a similar to like I would say it's like a cross between Instagram and Tumblr.
What? Okay.
What is that? What is Instagram?
What's Tumblr?
How do you? I thought they were the same thing. What is the differences between
You're just
Instagram and
making-
Tumblr?
I feel like this is alchemy
They're
going
both
on.
like
Just
pictures, right? You
you're
do
just
pictures on
mixing
both of
stuff
them.
together.
Tumblr is different.
Okay, I'll
it
take
just
your word
shows
for it.
pictures, right? Tumblr's like I don't know.
Yeah.
These kids.
I do enjoy the TikTok because one of my favorite things to do for a very long time is getting drunk and just watching dumb, funny vines.
Do you do TikTok dances, Donnie?
No, I don't know.
Do you know any?
No, absolutely not. I'm not that into it. So I still watch TikTok like through YouTube. Like I'll go to YouTube and go,
okay.
give me
Best of compilation.
30 minutes of funny TikToks, and I'll just sit there and laugh. Yeah, I let somebody else do all that. I'm not doing that. Oh man, Thrak here. The Nintendo old Shaq. He did it.
Got my crane over here.
So yeah, run out there and get your Pikachu printer, I guess.
Cool.
I wish that they made like if it wasn't just a case, like actually they made a special camera printer with like a Pokemon Snap design on it, like printed on it, that it wasn't just the case. Because you could use, if you already have one of these, you can use your
you don't need a new one.
printer and download the app and use it.
100%.
So it feels like, I don't know.
Yeah, they're doing Switch colors. They'll have like Switch red and blue, like Joy-Cons. They're going to do colors of the printers, but no actual design. Yeah, I was a little let down when I realized the Pikachu printer was just a case.
Yeah.
Like I kind of got the impression it was like the Pikachu in 64. And I was like,
cool.
that's cool.
Completely reskinned or
It's
whatever.
I feel like
just
that would have
a
made it
rubber-
real hard to get. Like I think people would have really wanted it in that case. Which
for sure.
Make more and sell more.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the Nintendo Switch made an appearance this week in Xbox's GameStack Live presentation. It was behind Sarah Bond. It was over there on the shelf. Everybody was talking about it, myself included. I drew a big red circle around it and tweeted it. Made sure everybody knew that they saw the Switch. But don't hold your breath for that marriage proposal between those two just yet, as game industry analyst and great Twitter follow David Gibson tweeted yesterday that while it makes a lot of sense, quote, I have had Nintendo tell me directly they would not put another streaming service on the Switch, end quote. Bom,
Who?
bom, ba, bom.
Who is this?
Okay.
That is,
Advisory?
I believe you can find him on Twitter, if I remember correctly, at Gibbo Game, I think.
Who is he?
Gibbo Game. He's just an analyst he's popular. He's been an analyst. I don't want to say predicted, but he's had like kind of the scoop on Nintendo at times in the past. And he's one of those folks, he's able to talk about like their financial breakdowns and kind of like their direction and stuff like that.
I don't believe that for a second, because Nintendo could tell him, oh no, we're not planning anything like that, and then turn around and do it. So that
Absolutely.
really means nothing.
Yeah.
No
the
offense,
only thing
David
that you
Gibson.
could say is that maybe he's, I don't even say a trusted source, but at least, somewhat of a expert opinion, I guess.
Yeah, it's just
commentator.
it's one person
Yeah,
saying
it's
it,
his
and it's
opinion.
like, cool, sounds good. We'll see it when we see it. But
Yep.
we keep, I don't know, we just keep seeing the Switch in the background. Of course, they're doing it on purpose. They're doing something on.
So
like,
the thing that I made about that one, for those that listen to Xbox Empire, it's not like it was on Phil's shelf and he's a Switch
Right.
fan. This was a produced show on a stage. There wasn't just somebody's desk that had a
It was
Switch on it.
placed.
Like it was very perfectly placed.
perfectly
Particular.
angled, right?
Yeah,
It's
it was
not
there-
like
it was absolutely
flipped
there
or
on
anything.
purpose. Now, I mean, okay, so I said this on Empire.
Mm-hmm.
You could just explain it off because GameStack has been used to ship games on Switch. So you could explain that off, right? Like Minecraft's on Switch, Dungeons,
Oh,
right? You could
okay.
say that.
Sure.
I don't think that's the reason. Minecraft is on, as I say, Minecraft's also on PlayStation, and there's no PS3 or PS4 back there either. So like, I think there's a little something there, but I also want to believe. So maybe I'm leading myself to that conclusion.
We all want to believe.
But as I told Rebecca when we talked about it on Empire 2 weeks ago, it's really hard for me to believe that this day will actually happen. Like I want to believe it so much, but there will always be this hesitation. It's like
There's
they're
always,
not
yeah.
really going to get on a stage together.
I mean, we know in Nintendo. I know they have some love together. We've seen a lot of Xbox games going on to Nintendo, but I don't know. Nintendo's still well reserved, especially on their console side, right? That you've
still a
never
very
seen.
conservative company.
Yeah, so
But-
we'll
And I also feel like if there is something, Nintendo is going to be the ones to want to reveal it and tell the world. Like
of
they're not
course.
going to want
Absolutely, it's their system.
Microsoft to say too much or hint too much. Like they feel
I
like
don't
this
want
is
it to
the
be Doug
absolute
Bowser.
most they can be hinting.
I don't want it to be Doug Bowser. I think it's gonna be, and I don't want it to be.
I mean,
Just
it's
We've
not
never
funny
seen
enough.
Doug
He's not
Bowser, really.
funny or cool enough.
being a direct or something. Like it doesn't have to be somebody coming on a stage and saying something.
Even in a direct, I want to see like Miyamoto on one side and Phil on the other side. Like make it a moment, because this is a big deal. Like I know it's just like an app, and let's say it's just streaming or whatever. This is a giant like moment for the video game industry to see a partnership like this, and I would like to see them treated as such. I don't mean like pomp and circumstance and all the bells and whistles. Like again, it doesn't have to be on a stage. I would love it if it was. I would just love the moment. I would like to see it. I think it would do a lot for like the goodwill of gaming to have that moment. You remember like when we had Sean Layden and Reggie and Phil like stand on his together. And that was like people are all like, look at them standing so close to each other. This is so many million times bigger than that moment. God, I honestly I think I want that more than even the stream.
I wouldn't even get Game Pass. I just want them on stage.
I love Miyamoto and Phil shake hands together.
Hopefully, and like I just want to see Twitter like happy one day. Just be happy about it as opposed to everything being your console versus my console, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna have Miyamoto in the Xbox E3 conference going the downs up and the down flips?
Oh, that would be the best. Could you imagine if Phil like threw to a webcam? He's like, we're looking for new devices. What do you think? And it's just Miyamoto, and he's like,
Miyamoto.
That would be the best.
Or if he's like, you see him like they're playing on his Switch, and they come up, he's like, hey, what are you playing? And he's like, oh, nothing much. Halo.
God, that would be so good. I would love to see all of it. There's so many things that I would like to see happen out of that. And then I think on just like on socials, seeing like how both of their teams have been very, very, I think, good or funny, on their social presence, that would be incredible too. Like I want it to happen. The mega powers,
lean on
Tony.
it, yeah.
The mega powers. I like it. That's what I want. I want to see the mega powers happen. It also would mean a lot for Game Pass. You know me.
For
Love
sure.
my Game Pass. Love my Game Pass. Miyamoto with Xbox shirt. That's a little too far, Threk.
You're gonna have to pay Miyamoto a fortune for that one.
No, I think the opposite. Phil a Nintendo shirt? Absolutely. We can get that done tomorrow. Yeah. That's not a problem.
I think at most Miyamoto would be like Game Pass with like a Nintendo logo also on it.
Like he'll have a shirt and jacket with like a Game Pass lapel, like a pin, kind of on the side. Maybe that far.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That's it. Rebecca, we're 40 minutes into the show. That's all the news we could come up with. Why don't you hit us with some questions?
Gosh.
Okay. I wonder if when things are going to start rolling again. Like, do you think we're going to have to wait until E3 before
I hope
start
not.
getting like hard hitting stuff?
Yeah, no, I do. I absolutely do. I think it'll be
like
quiet
this is going to be our weeks until then.
Yeah. Because it's Mario Golf is July, right? Skyward Sword's in June.
Skyward Sword's in July. Yeah.
Is Mario Golf in June?
Yeah. Mario Golf is in June.
Yeah, like after next week, we are dark until E3. I think.
Hey, one thing, Ace Attorney Chronicles. I mean, that got announced, and that was totally left field. I know people. I mean, we're not really interested because we haven't really played the games, but I think it's cool for people who are interested in.
Big deal.
Maybe something.
I'm
like
interested in
that
trying that game.
It's cool cover art. Cool art.
Cool art.
Yeah.
Something like that. No, I think it's going to be dark until E3. I'm not expecting any major announcements till then, and I'm not expecting anything happening before Mario Golf. I think Mario Golf's the next first party tentpole, and I don't think like any of those bigger indies that we're hoping for. I think that's all reserved for E3.
Yeah.
Now I do think we're gonna have an awesome year. I think from June to November it's gonna be fantastic. But as I said earlier, I think getting to June's the hard part.
Wow.
Yeah, so July's a huge hit. We got The World Ends With You, and also Monster Hunter Stories 2, and then Skyward Sword. So Switch will be busy in the summer, but not now.
I know.
We'll be able to talk about Snap soon.
It's indie stuff, right? Indie games. Hopefully we get more of those because, I mean, I'm good. In May, Resident Evil is coming out, and then I'm just going to be a terrible Nintendo host because I'm playing nothing but Resident Evil until I finish.
I'll be in knee deep in Bravely Default at that point, I think, in Monster Hunter. So
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if you've been into Bravely or Monster Hunter, like you've got a ton of game to play.
So much time.
It's only if you're not. If you're not into that, there's nothing out, So.
But we have questions.
Thank God we do. Thank you so much.
This
show would end right now if you did it. So thank you so much, listeners. Oh, Miitopia.
Okay.
Completely forgot. We can't forget about Miitopia. Like the game that's going to get us to E3, guys.
With the purple Switch, yes.
Do you have any idea how much more excited I'd be if they release Box Boy instead of that?
I think I would be more excited with that one. Oh man.
Okay, questions. Andros says, if y'all could have any living person be a guest on the Nintendo Shack, who would you have? Who is your dream Nintendo celebrity to podcast with?
Celebrity is interesting because mine don't count as celebrities. I've answered this question before. I've always wanted to have Audrey Drake and Rich George on. Those were the original hosts of Nintendo Voice Chat back in 2009. So if anybody's been that long with IGN, like those are those folks, and it's actually kind of a big influence or inspiration for our show, kind of how I formatted it and how I want it to be and how I want it to sound. I'm basically trying to rip them off. So I've already had Pear on, like that was a big one for me. So.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
What are you guys?
Reggie. That's the first thing that popped in my mind. And Rebecca, I'm sure you thought of Reggie as well. I think that's the go-to answer for sure.
And
I would love
Bill
to ask
Trinan.
Reggie a bunch of questions. I don't know if he'd answer them though.
No. I think he would be a fun guy to talk to though.
Yeah, he would
Now.
answer anything.
Even just beyond Nintendo stuff, like he's done a lot.
Oh yeah,
he's been joking around. I like it on Twitter.
that tweet that you shared, Rebecca.
Yeah.
That is a GOAT level tweet. That is all-time great
The
tweet.
tease is real.
Man, if only he had a
2 days.
photo.
2 days in a row.
God, if he had even if it was a fake cartridge, if he had a photo with like or
Just a
man,
low quality photo with like
just so damn good.
Well, I think that it's very funny that he said that because he is acknowledging, and I know he's not the president anymore, so he's allowed to do whatever the heck he wants, but to acknowledge the fan translation, the fact that you
the
have
English
to
translation.
obtain a ROM to play it. We always think of the Nintendo ninjas coming and smacking everybody for emulating and whatnot, and he's like, yeah, that's out there, maybe I'll go play that at some point. You have to go seek it out, but
Love him.
yeah,
People
2
out
days
there
in a row,
connecting
that
the
really
dots.
hurt.
What does it mean? What does it mean, Reggie?
And he did that on purpose because he knew it was the 15th anniversary.
That's why it's a great tweet. Just the best tweet.
Horrible. So horrible.
Yeah,
Either him or Bill Trinan
Yeah,
would be mine.
Bill would be good. I guess.
Bill's cool. He's very funny.
He's cool. And look, I don't want to take away from your answers. Those are great answers, right? I just don't know what I would want to ask them. You think
About working at Nintendo, the legacy.
Yeah, but do you think they're going to answer?
Wouldn't be able to say secret
I think
stuff,
he has
but
anecdotes
Yeah.
yeah, I feel
every
like that
now
kind
and
of stuff
then.
would be cool.
I'm not trying to rain on your parade. I'll be
kind of
clear.
what they're personally into,
Yeah, that
game
too.
wise, what they don't talk about.
That'd be
What
cool.
other games other than Nintendo do they play? And has that have any inspiration?
I would
with
be
their
all
games?
about asking them, how much are you guys pulling Nintendo proper? What are you guys getting done? Or it's
So you wouldn't be afraid to ask that, and maybe you would get a little.
be like,
snippet of
does
something.
Japan even care about what you guys think? Why did you shut down
What's
the
your
new
contract?
3DS so early? Why don't we have faceplates here? It's I would go on and on and on.
Of
And I
course.
don't think they would answer any of that.
I think it would be a logistics answer that you would get in a typical
And I would be
interview.
upset if it was hey, what's your favorite game? It's who cares? You're Reggie Fils-Aimé. I want to know about.
Cool.
I want to know about what you know, Reggie.
Give me your knowledge.
What do you know? Tell me.
We'll play good cop, bad cop. Donnie, you're the bad cop.
There we go.
And
That's,
we're good
that's my
cops.
role. This is why we'll never take over the Nintendo Powercast, which we should be. But here's the thing: when Nintendo comes to make that offer, they're going to make it to Rebecca, obviously,
Yeah,
first and
of
foremost.
course.
And then they're going to be like, "You can." It's going to be like a band that gets a deal. They're going to be like, "You can do it. You can bring Garrett, but the guy,
you can't have Donnie.
it's got to go." Okay,
It's got to cut him off.
we can't have him over here.
He has too much.
For Game Pass, comparing us to Xbox, he's got to go. Get him the hell out of here.
Is this the Nintendo Mafia or something? we cutting him out. No loose ends.
Yeah, Elias says you're gonna get the classic 9 answer. And yeah, and it'd be great to talk to Reggie. I'm not saying I would not want to. I'm just
You wouldn't turn that down.
you've seen him at E3 at times, right? And I've seen Jeff Keighley give him even questions that I don't consider tough, and I've completely seen him dance and walk around them. And I feel like I would get
Listen.
a lot of the same.
Even if we got a bunch of canned answers on the show, think about how good it would be for the show to get eyeballs on us if
Oh,
we
for
had
sure.
Reggie sitting here.
Yeah, I mean, you could
how
just
many
pimp our show
hundreds
out
of
for that.
people would be watching us?
But like
For him
Audrey,
to say,
she works in the treehouse. Rich works for Golan Harris, right? Their marketing team. I'd love to talk to him. I also
yeah.
don't think they would answer anything.
No.
they're not
But like
allowed.
maybe after they leave though, right? Like they leave, and then we can have them on and be like, tell us.
Interrogate them, yeah.
Where's Pikmin 4? Like, like really get into it. I would love to do something.
I mean, I don't know that she would know answers like that.
Emily Rogers? It's a Twitter account I follow for a very, very, very long time.
Probably know stuff. Like,
That'd be cool.
yeah.
Stuff like that. Anybody that had like, that was one of the cool things I liked about Pear. That was the reason I always wanted to have Pear on. He's been doing it for so long, that he has a lot of like archived information that was like weird, stuff that's not necessarily mainstream or well known, so stuff like that I would be really into, like if I could find anybody like that. But I just don't know who those folks are. Celebrity was interesting. I saw somebody in the chat say Brie Larson. I would totally be down to listen to Rebecca and Brie Larson talk about Animal Crossing. Sounds amazing.
She seems so chill.
Oh yeah.
Really just talk to her. And she's like, isn't she a gamer?
Yes. Well,
Yeah,
she's an
yeah,
Animal
hardcore.
Crossing gamer.
Yeah,
She
that's
wants
true.
to play Samus in a Metroid movie.
I would 100% be like, hey, Brie Larson, so Rebecca doesn't like Scott Pilgrim. And that's how I would leave I would just like, now enjoy the show.
And see how it implodes.
Now enjoy the show. Rebecca, what questions do you have for...
Do you not like Black Sheep? Is that it? I seen that, okay?
Oh, so yeah. I'm trying to think, would like Charles Martinet do anything for, like, I wouldn't want to talk to Charles Martinet.
Really? You wouldn't have him sitting here and talk to him and like what it's like to voice Mario and all the cool things he's done and seen and been
He
to?
seems so
and
happy.
stories?
Oh, he's
so
definitely
happy.
that. He's definitely that. Tony says, what a heel. Maybe so. Maybe I'm just being a little curmudgeon-y. I have a ear infection. Maybe that's it. I would rather...
That's your excuse.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know Charles Martinet does podcasts. I think we could reach out to him. We could probably get him. Like, if you guys wanted to talk to him, I imagine we might be able to work that out. Definitely you, Rebecca.
He was supposed to go to too many games last year before the pandemic, and I was going to meet him and get a
Yeah, he
picture
came to
with him and talk
MomoCon.
to him.
And I think that might be about it, because he's come to MomoCon, so I like, wave hi and say hello and stuff like that. But
If
you
he
know,
goes
like,
to too many games again, I'll
how-
see him, and I will
how
invite
is it
him
to
in
voice
person
Mario?
to our show.
I don't know what that means. Like Mario, he just says woohoo and yeah, like it's not much of a character, I guess. Right?
Think about the legacy, Donnie.
Yeah,
of
Are you
course.
So
nuts?
many games.
Of
So much
course.
involvement, too.
Now,
yeah.
I think, okay, all right. Putting my cap on, I would want to ask him, like, how long do you think you'll keep doing it? And, like, who's next up, right? Like, do you have a protege or something? Like, are they working with somebody? Or have you recorded so much
that you recycle.
that they have Mario forever? Like, do they just have you
Forever.
reading stuff, like, just at random in between games? Something like that?
They just have a soundboard that has like 500 of his voice clips. And all right, let's just go through each one. All right, let's see which one fits.
Yeah.
Probably at this point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I mean, we'd have to have a translator at some point, but Eiji Onuma, I'd much rather talk to him.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, I didn't. If we're
So
getting-
much rather talk to him than
Yeah,
Bill
for
Trennan
sure.
or
Well, yeah, okay, for sure. I didn't know that having a translator was an option here.
we could have Bill Trennan. Like, hey guys, you want to ask me nothing? No, you just translate.
It's like, okay.
No, absolutely not.
Funny.
Yeah, good question though. Garrett, do you have any extras?
No, Reggie was my
Okay.
like first thing in my head, but yeah.
I think for
Pretty
most
much
people.
it.
As look, guys, I see the chat. Chat's calling me bitter. I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to be.
Just trying to be logical about an interview type
That's it.
with a person. That,
Thank you.
I don't know, a celebrity. Would be too.
Nobody said Doug Bowser.
Absolutely not.
No, we're good. We're good.
We're good. My question would be like, why don't you do more?
Can you say something that actually is meaningful
Remember
to me?
that answer that we read when they were like, hey, why are you taking Mario away? And he went on and on about
Yeah.
classic celebration. It was like, this is the worst answer. Nobody wants to hear this at all.
Doug, what would you say you do here?
I don't want our podcast just used to like spout off corporate mouth speak. You know, like that's the thing. It's like, don't give me a commercial. Talk to me.
Yeah.
It's a pod.
Yeah.
Like, actually talk to me.
Think of the audience. This would be the most we would see
Rebecca,
publicly of Doug
this is why
Bowser.
Rebecca's popular, right? You see, like, this is why she's just cutthroat.
Trying
She's like,
to
think
get
of the
the
reach.
image.
But like an hour and a half with Doug Bowser would be the most that we've seen publicly of him since he started at
I'm like a
Nintendo.
1989 grudge band. It's like, I'm not going to sell out, Rebecca. Okay? It's about the music.
It's about the quality, okay? It's the soul. But yeah, no, not Doug
Not
Bowser.
Bowser.
No.
You're out.
Doug's like listening to this, like, darn it, I wanted to be on the Nintendo Shack.
He's like, it's my favorite show.
I know, sorry, Doug. Okay. Nick says, going to be spending most of the next 2 weeks on a plane or in a hotel. Should I take the Switch or the 3DS or both, and why?
The answer is both. The answer why is that battery is a finite resource when you were on the go, in and out of air travel.
2000%. Yeah.
They got limited stations. If the airports are busy, I saw a stat last weekend, or I was reading a journal article that said that flight traffic over this time last year is up like 93%. So it seems like people are going out again. Like people
There's
are
like,
on the
hey,
move
we're
now.
vaccinated. We're good now. They actually.
So if
out.
that's the case, I can tell you from experience that there are a lot of people that will always sit and camp out near all the electrical outlets and all the stuff. So bring both, because especially if you've got an OG Switch, you know, I do know how far he's flying. You may not be able to make it the whole way. So bring both just in case.
I used to carry with me my original Switch, an external battery, and then the Satisfy case that had the external battery like space in it. That thing is huge. It's like just a huge power brick. But no, I brought it on my lap in the airplane, so I was like, okay, I'm down like 30% on my battery on Switch. Time to plug it in, and everything was fine.
It's a shame that not everybody on the plane has like an outlet to charge things. You'd think that'd be a thing by now.
Yeah, but
Maybe too many
cost.
resources. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Some-
got
I think
they got a
some
port
planes
on
do,
every
don't they?
chair for you to plug in some headphones, don't they?
I think
That's
some planes
true.
do now. I don't know. I haven't been on
newer
one.
planes are getting better at it. It's just the cost and benefit of airplanes is very cutthroat.
Yeah.
I get very nervous traveling with, like, especially on planes and stuff, with that many devices and whatnot and keeping track of it all. If you do bring both, just obviously, I know this sounds obvious, but make sure that, like, they're both in your eyesight at all time and that you're not, like, leaving one sitting there while you're playing the other. You know, people take things, especially going through, like, security and stuff. It's very easy for them to pull you aside to, like, check your, you know, pat you down and whatnot, and your Switch is over there and somebody could take it. So I get nervous about that, which is probably the reason why I would only take one. And I feel like if you were only going to take one, I would probably take the 3DS. It's, I think, a little bit easier to take around. It's more compact to pack it away and store it
That's
away.
true.
And just generally, I think, kind of, I don't know, library-wise, 3DS might be a little bit nicer too.
When I always travel, I always bring my Vita, Switch, and 3DS. The problem with that, I always play my Switch. That's the thing I go to, because that's just the newest console, and that's just the games I go to. And of course, I always have games to play on the Switch, so that's the first thing I open up. So actually, I suggest just bring the 3DS and see what games you have in there. Nick, I'm sure you have 20 JRPGs in there that you have not touched, just like me. Okay, so just try to tackle one of them and see.
Wait, Garrett,
What?
you started Chrono Trigger.
I did start Chrono Trigger. Now I want to play a little bit more before I give like
Okay,
any
that's fair.
impressions.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have.
No, it's okay. I really need to finish Persona Strikers, and then Chrono Trigger is
Got it.
definitely my immediate next.
Okay. Once you get a
JRPG
little
to
bit
go.
further, we'll talk about it.
For sure. But yeah, Nick.
Also, whatever Nick's playing too. Like, are you in the middle of, you know, some game on the Switch that maybe you want to keep playing there?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's very, very easy. Yeah, if your luggage gets lost, like, definitely if you're taking both, like, bring them both on your carry-on.
Carry on.
Don't put it
Absolutely.
in
Oh,
your
always
luggage.
carry on.
Keep in your
Yeah.
Sure.
backpack.
Yeah,
Yep,
keep
for
it
sure.
in
That
your
stuff never
direct
leaves.
eyesight.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let it leave.
And if you go to Europe, make sure your backpack's like in front of you, because they'll try to steal it. They're pretty rough over there.
G-Man says, with rumors about Fire Emblem Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn coming to the Switch, what sort of GameCube and Wii games would you like besides Twilight Princess and Wind Waker? He says Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door would be nice. Yeah, it would.
Well, I mean, I've always wanted a remake of that one. We'll get it one day, I think.
You think?
I think we will. Yeah, I think that one's ripe for a remake. This is an interesting question because we've got a lot of Wii games and GameCube games, especially if you're talking third party. We've got a lot of them ported or moved. If not ported to the Switch, then at least like the 3DS or the Wii U. Like, you know, recently, like we got Okami, like all the Resident Evils have been ported, right? We got the Galaxy port. You know, there's a Mario Galaxy that's been ported.
That's true.
Donkey Kong Country, the House of the Dead remake, No More Heroes. Tony Hawk just got a remaster. So like a lot of stuff has already come over. I'll focus on Wii just because I think with GameCube, the interesting thing about GameCube, and I'm definitely not saying all, I'm just saying a lot of, there are a lot of games I think that got ports or sequels, like direct sequels, like sequels that were probably just better. Or like the case for, so like when I think of a GameCube port that I want, like my first thing that comes to my mind is like Star Fox. But I don't necessarily want Star Fox ported as much as I just want a Star Fox game.
I just want a new Star Fox game.
Right, because like that Star Fox wasn't very good.
That was very, it was a Star Fox Assault.
Or Avenger. Yeah, like not very good. It's like I don't necessarily want those ported. Like I don't want Sunshine ported. Like Twilight Princess, you know, like, I know he said not
Sunshine,
to include that one, but it's already been ported, you know, so it's like,
yeah,
you know, like I think I'm okay to leave those games there. A lot of them. Like Luigi's Mansion, for example. That's a great one, right? Luigi's Mansion's great, but we got the 3DS and the new one, and those are great.
And it's so much better.
Right. So it's like I don't want the old one. I'm fine to leave that one now. So Radiant Dawn, I think, is a great answer. I don't know how much I believe this rumor. I do think there's out there. Punch-Out?
Metroid Prime Trilogy.
Well, Metroid, of course.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
How about Other M?
Other M?
I would love to see a remake of Other M. I would love to see that game get another chance. I don't think it's nearly as bad as like Twitter makes you want to think it is. It's not that bad. Like, and maybe if they like, you know, redid it and maybe fix a few things, like maybe it could be really good. I'm not saying it's the greatest thing I've ever played, but I quite enjoyed it the last time I played it. So I didn't think it was awful. I would be okay with that.
Any Metroid content on Switch.
All right, so on Wii, I've got a few. Let's see here. I think we're gonna get one of them. Before I rattle off a couple of games, what do you think about them ever remaking Brawl?
Brawl, not so much, just because it didn't. I mean, like other than the campaign, the campaign was pretty good, but the mechanics of Brawl is like a little bit low tier compared.
What about
to the
Melee?
rest of the game. Melee, I would like. It's just I highly doubt they would ever do that because of Ultimate.
No, I know.
I don't see them ever. Why would they remake a?
The only reason is it's still so popular, like with the community, that I was wondering, like,
the community won't like a remake.
No, well, I would like a
Right.
refresh.
You might
and
be
like,
right. But I was gonna say, like, what if they kept it really original? They just like made it on a new platform, and it was like maybe HD'd, but it was like it still was the same thing.
That would be really nice.
Like really the same, I think, for the hardcore fan base,
Sure.
the ones who are really, really into it.
And I think there's a lot of people that would still like that, and I think they could both exist.
For sure. I think if you just ported it like the Super Mario Bros., I think the community would just be ecstatic for it. Yeah. Just give it a 1080p HD sharpness to it. But yeah, I see Melee, but not so much with Brawl.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the ones I thought Punch-Out, which I still think is a really great Wii game. I'm assuming the question is taking out licensed stuff, but I'll say MLB Power Pros. If you guys never played Power Pros on the Wii, that game was freaking excellent. I love that game. And Rebecca, you love baseball, right? MLB Power Pros, you should look it up sometime. It was one of my favorite baseball games. Battalion Wars, I came up with one of my favorite Wii games, especially if you like tactical, you like action games. That was a really, really good one. Silent Hill Shattered Memories, one of my favorites. Mad World, Platinum game. Awesome game, very stylish. As a Wii game, that was like one of the Wii hardcore Wii games that, like then nobody wanted back in the day. Here's a crazy one that I wrote down. Donkey Kong Jungle Beat.
I like that one, actually.
Like on Wii, they made it like play with Wii controls and stuff. Like, could you imagine if they ported it and it had like regular controls too?
Yeah.
I think that could be something. And then the last one I wrote down, and I only wrote it down because it's actually been in the news this past week. Sonic Colors is, I think, getting a remaster. Like that's been something that I think a trademark released or something on that. I don't think it's the best Sonic game that I've played until Mania. So it's like 10 years old, but like it wasn't great, but it was pretty good. And I'd buy the remake just to play it. So
cool.
Those are some that came into my mind.
He said no Wind Waker or Twilight Princess, but nobody talks about Four Swords Adventures, which I recently started playing, and man, I think that could be a good candidate for the Switch. I think put it on Switch Online, make it like a Triforce Heroes type thing where you can team up with people. It has a lot of really fun puzzles and a good story, and I really like what I've played so far. I feel like everybody forgets that one exists, and I don't know why. It's good. I like it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm with you.
A couple games that popped in my mind, GameCube wise. Pokemon Coliseum and XD, Gale of Darkness. I played the mess out of those.
Those are like the last ones that we got, right?
Yeah, that's the last one. Yeah, the last ones on the main system.
It's crazy. They just went away from that. It's such a moneymaker.
And it was such a cool little side story too. It was about, the darkness in Pokemon and how to get rid of the darkness from them. It was definitely a cool twist with them. And I would definitely love to see it just to come back, either just like a ported remastered of some kind. It'd be really cool. Double pack. I can't believe I sold both of them. I sold both of them on Amazon like the stupid kid I was when I was 18. And now they're like, I don't know, hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, I saw the video I was watching the other day. They said it's like $300.
Yeah, they're
sealed
easily.
Copy of Pokemon Coliseum.
Yeah, they're
those games are good.
Now.
I would like to see those come back too.
Mm-hmm.
We're starting to scrap the barrel of like the Wii, and I would even say like some of the game. Like I said, the GameCube, so much of that stuff has either come or has gotten like sequels.
Yeah,
I would love a Beautiful Joe remaster. Yeah, I would like that. I would like to see a new one, but even if they remastered, I'd be down for that too.
Nice. Yeah,
that'd be good. No Pikmin. They can stop.
They could just stop with the Pikmin.
Wow.
We're good.
Ouch.
Sorry, Kev.
Oh my gosh. Kevin says, have you guys listened to a song from a video game and you thought, that's it, I'm totally buying this game? So basically a song or entire soundtrack convinced you to buy the game.
I think not totally convinced buying a game, but really close to like playing it before I actually want to play on a certain system. Final Fantasy VII Remake. I did not know that could be my jam. I like the gameplay and everything, but when I heard the song, that gave me chills, man. Like I've heard the original Final Fantasy VII soundtrack, but like when I heard just that one song, orchestral version in their trailer, I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't even played Final Fantasy VII, but this is giving me chills, like hardcore. So, but I'm not close enough to actually buy a game or anything like that. Maybe Persona 4 Golden is really the only one, because that's a music rhythm based game, and of course I love the Persona music, and that's one of my favorite soundtracks. Yeah, that would be my answer. Persona, no, not Golden. Persona 4 Dancing All Night. Yeah.
I'm gonna answer no. I don't think that has ever existed. I think I've seen trailers where the music has really captured my attention, but I can't attribute that the music alone made me buy the game, because I probably would never buy any game if I wasn't interested in actually playing it. So I don't recall, but there's definitely, there are trailers with music that are very memorable because of the music, and they really gathered my attention and made me want to buy it, but not by itself.
There was one very special. It was like one of the Gears of War intro marketing ones. And
you're talking about the commercial with Mad World?
Mad World, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that one gets a lot of people.
For me, no, also. It didn't get, that music got me to play the game, but I do have something that's kind of sort of somewhat related to that, is that I already knew that I wanted to play the game Undertale, but I don't know why. I listened to the entire soundtrack multiple times before I ended up playing through the game, so I knew every song super well before I played it, and that was a really interesting experience to go through the game already knowing the music and kind of being like, oh, like that's where this song appears in the game, or
that is
whatnot.
interesting.
So it was kind of an interesting experience. Pretty unique. I don't know why I did it that way.
I had a similar vibe with Shovel Knight. I listened to the soundtrack
Dude,
and I'm like,
that main theme is killer.
It's so good, man.
It's really good. Like the first game I was thinking about, Katana Zero, it's one of the first things that really jumped out to me is how killer Katana Zero sounds. But like to separate that from what I was also seeing at the time, I just couldn't, because like it also looks crazy and awesome, you know. But like it's probably my favorite thing about that game is the music.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Thrax says, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the most likely, do you expect any Metroid news, whether it's Prime 4, Prime Trilogy, rumored 2D game, at E3 this year from Nintendo?
On a scale of 1 to 10, you could write me in around maybe a 3, expecting something Metroid-wise.
Ooh.
Do I think it's possible? I do. If you were to guess it and like say like, hey, you were making a predictions video or something, I think it's a worthy guess, because I think either this year or next year the timing is right. But at the same time, knowing what we know about Metroid for so long, I couldn't go higher than that in terms of an expectation. You know, like it's still a far-fetched one. I think there are just as easily 3 or 4 other options, you know, that I think have just an equal or better chance as well.
I think the further along we go, the higher that number has got to get, though. I mean,
Absolutely.
eventually it's going to show up, and I think 2 years ago maybe you said that at a 3, but
I think between
like
this,
now,
if you were to say like this year or next year, that number goes to like a 7.
Yeah, I don't know if I would go up to 7 for this E3, but I would say a solid 5 or even 6, to be honest. I feel like it's time. Prime 4, no. I mean, Prime Trilogy has been rumored for so long. Maybe. I think
if I had to
2D
guess one of
game
the
is the most
3,
likely at this
I'd
time.
actually guess the 2D game.
Yeah,
I would
it
guess
We
is
don't
the
even
2D
know if
game.
it's real.
Yeah.
we're guessing at this point.
I would say that's less about the rumor and more about just that it kind of makes sense.
It
at
does
this
make
point.
sense. I agree with you. I think it
like-
makes sense to get people reinvigorated to the character, the franchise, before they start to lift the veil on their big post. I mean, I look at Metroid Prime 4 as their big post Zelda game. So, and I think that, and we've talked about this before, I feel like I'm already regurgitating things said before. I think you save Metroid Prime Trilogy HD Remaster until you're ready to show 4. I think you give an update on 4. Here's what it's looking like. Here's what we're doing, right? And while you're waiting, bam, here's the port of the game, and I think the best way to prime that engine is with a classic game, to get the classic
Prime
fans
that
back
engine.
in. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
like
I think that makes a ton of marketing sense. Now, does Nintendo care about any of that? That's the question. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Like, are they just going to Pikmin it and just like throw it out there by itself? Like they do that stuff, nobody knows.
I mean, I can see Metroid. I mean, it can be at E3, but I see it much more being like, if it's not Prime 4, it's going to be like in a trailer, just dropped in a direct or something later. And it's just like E3 this year. I have my doubts even with the 2D game too. So I'm going to go with like, if somewhere is below 1, maybe like 0.8, 0.5, somewhere around there. It's not all the way
In
down,
its
is there?
defense, Metroid has appeared at E3. Even the 2D games, they put it at Treehouse. I think that
I know.
counts as E3.
Oh,
It's the last time
for
that
sure.
we saw a 2D game come out. So I think it's definitely.
I think there's a better chance we
precedent
see
for it.
Bayonetta.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
do.
I
personally
could
think
see.
there's a better chance that we see Bayonetta.
Yeah, Bayonetta's been really quiet. And
you-
I
Would
don't see why not both.
Do you think
Why
what do
not
you think is a better chance? Do you think there's a better chance we see a Fire Emblem game before a Metroid game?
I just think the timeline of Fire Emblem, like the remake of a Fire Emblem game makes sense to me compared to.
That's why I'm
a
so
Metroid
low.
game.
Like when I
They
think
turn
about
them
it,
out faster, it seems.
when I think about it, I think there's just probably of the possible candidates, right? It's just towards the bottom of the list. You know,
it's
it just
getting
goes
lower and lower, man.
Yeah,
Unless
it
it's
just
a
goes
2D
down
game.
a little.
Yeah.
But don't lose hope. Within the next 2 or 3 years, 100% chance.
Yeah.
100% chance we see it soonish. But
I just don't. I'm just not thinking E3 right now.
It's been 3 years since we've heard anything about any Metroid ever.
right, but
I just don't think they care, though.
They rebooted the whole
actually.
thing, and they're still hiring. It's like we have no inclination as to what that game is or what it
I'm
looks
not
like
talking
or
about
how
Prime
it's.
4.
I know
I'm just talking about
Metroid as
the name.
yeah, as a
sure.
franchise. Yeah.
I want to believe in the 2D rumor so much. I think it makes
Me too.
all the sense in the world. I hope Nintendo is not too much like out of their own way to do that, right? The remaster was so good. They did a system for it. The system sold well. The remaster sold well.
It was very good.
Makes sense. Make a 2D game. The games are hot right now. You get Axiom Verge. You get all these games doing it. It makes sense. It's just like Mario Golf. My argument for that, it made sense. The timing is right. It would be perfect for them to capitalize on it. And we all know, not that I'm trying to say that video games are easy, that is a low investment type of project.
It
a
really
2D
is.
Metroid game
Especially if
is,
they're porting Samus Returns. That's
and
even
they'll
lower.
sell I know that Metroid games don't sell. They'll sell 2 million copies of that game, and they'll sell it at a much higher price than
And I'll be
Axiom
a
Verge
success.
could
Yeah.
ever charge. They'll make money on that project easily. That project makes money.
Yeah.
That's
I
just an
believe in
easy
Mercury's
bet.
team.
The more,
I believe in
the more
Mercury's team.
years
Yeah.
we go, the higher chance it has to get.
Yes, 100%.
Eventually,
It's
it's gonna
coming.
happen.
Between now and
yeah.
3 years from now. All right, so like between E3 2021 and E3 2023, the chances of Metroid 100%.
Switch Pro exclusive.
Like we're gonna definitely see Metroid between the next 3 years for 100%. Like it's not dead; it's going to happen. Just doesn't happen this year.
I've given up on Trilogy. I've wanted it for so long, so I'm just playing it on the original hardware.
That's okay. It's still a great game.
Totally fine. Yeah.
And if they ported the original, it'd still be great. And I would recommend people get it. I just would not buy it again. I own like 4 copies of that game. Like
Yeah, but you should buy it
too
for
much.
the message that it sends that we want more.
See, and this is how Nintendo gets you. This is how you get hurt. This is why people buying 4 and 5 copies of Mario 3D All Stars and stuff. Like you can't. No, there's a limit to even my own madness, and I'm not buying Prime Trilogy again unless they actually make it better.
I'll buy you one.
If they do Skyward Sword, then I'll definitely do it. Like,
You're the problem, Rebecca.
throw in that
I'm
emulator.
a new Metroid fan. I want to show it love and get it going.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
I totally get you.
I think the best way to do it is do the 2D game, make an awesome collector's edition. Let me buy that.
That'd be great.
I would
Man,
be.
Samus
I like the.
Returns was
I think I
awesome.
like Prime, but I do like the 2D games probably more.
And I love
From
that
what I've
rumor.
played.
That rumor makes sense. We don't know what that dev's doing. Like it should work. I want to believe. I want to
E3.
believe, Garrett. I want
I
to
know.
believe.
I just can't.
Keep the faith. Hey, I said 3. I ain't believing that much.
Okay. West 3DP wants to know which is more worth the money, the Animal Crossing Build-A-Bear or the Yoshi Build-A-Bear?
Neither.
I don't care for
Just
either.
buy a
really.
Yoshi stuffed animal.
That's what I was thinking. Animal Crossing plushies. I mean,
They're like $15 on Amazon. We can
are
do
they
this right
popular?
now.
Yeah.
I didn't even
saw
know
the
they had a Yoshi.
one. Yeah, I think it just came out
Oh, that's cool.
or something.
I mean, I love Yoshi.
Is it of
Kinda
quality?
cute. Yeah, it was kind of cute.
Who doesn't love the Yoshi?
Yeah.
It's my dude
It'd be
on
cool
Mario
if they did
Golf.
Yoshi in all the different colors. Would be
That'd be
really
nice.
cute.
Oh,
You
that's
get, like,
good.
a little pink
It'd be a lot of
one,
money,
red
but yeah.
one.
I'm a Yoshi fan. Mario Golf, Mario Strikers, Mario Kart. I'm always Yoshi. Like if I'm not my me, then Yoshi's my main.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Blem. Roberito wants to know if it were possible, what game that is available today would you bring back and introduce to your childhood self?
Okay. I need help understanding the question.
So
Why
you're
would we do
taking a game like to kind of blow your childhood mind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I would do Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I think that's
Just
easy.
to
Because
impress you.
Just the Zelda-ness in me as I was growing up, and now
I don't have to go back to when I was a child. If I could just go back to the first time I played Breath of the Wild and do that again,
Yeah.
I'd sign up for that in a heartbeat.
I know. And just show my childhood self, like, you think Ocarina of Time is this huge, beautiful, everything to do world full of exploration? Well, take a look at this.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's a take I didn't actually go for. I actually really like this question because I'm thinking of the games that I missed that I did not play as a child, but were available at the time. It's just I will bring it back and tell my young self, play these games.
Oh,
This
that's
is
good.
available today. So, like, it could be a game like that, but you could also
Exactly.
bring a game that's newer.
Yeah, so what I think of, I played a lot of Pokemon. I was just a Pokemon disciple when I was a child. I want my childhood self to know that there are other JRPGs that are so good, like of course, like Chrono Trigger and like Final Fantasy and like Advance Wars and just like all these games that were on systems that I had, I just did not know at all. And when it came to like 2013 or 2014, when I played Persona 4 Golden, it's like, oh, there are other JRPGs that are really, really good. And it was just, I was just a dumb
I don't know
taking
if
your
Kid
approach.
Me would really
sorry.
have gotten Chrono Trigger, to be honest. I think teenage me would have. If I was bringing something back to teenage me, I would say something like Chrono Trigger maybe. But I thought what you were going to say is showing childhood me just how many Pokemon there are now. Like, going back and saying,
yeah.
like, oh, like, you think 151's a lot? There's 900 more. That would have been like...
I like
blow
your
your
take on it, Garrett. I would love to go back. Like, I missed all the Halo everything.
Yeah.
Like, I knew it was a thing, but I just didn't participate in it. Like, I kind of wish I did because I feel like there's a disconnection,
right.
with the franchise.
And you play these games now, it's like, okay, they're fine. It's just they've aged, right?
Well, even now, like, they're great. They've been remastered, but it's not the same.
It's
not the same
definitely
as
not
when
the
you're
same.
playing with friends and all that. I just missed the whole boat. Or, and I think the better answer is I would probably go back and tell myself to like get a Game Boy. Like I never jumped on the Game Boy or the Color or the GBA.
The handheld.
Yeah, the
side of
handheld
things,
thing.
yeah.
And it's like I love the 3DS so much of it, and that was like an awakening for me. Maybe have that a little earlier. Maybe go back and be like, hey, you're missing out on some really great games, man. Like get a GBA. I missed all that stuff.
I was a dumb kid. I was just watching SpongeBob and playing Pokemon just nonstop. Come on, kid. You had more variety right in front of you. You just
It's
didn't
like wrestling and sports games.
Yeah.
I spent so much time
I played
doing
a lot
that.
of Zelda and a lot of Pokemon and like random things here and there. I had a very narrow. It was kind of like just what my parents bought me. It wasn't my fault.
Yeah, and you're limited on funds and what you can get into and information, what you're even aware of.
Exactly.
That was my thing. I just wasn't even really aware of these things because they were just outside of my perspective at the time.
Yep.
Yep.
Antonio says, my question for the show is, we just saw the team up of Nintendo and Fujifilm. Is it Fujifilm? Whatever the Polaroid camera thing is.
Yeah.
What other team up would you like to see?
Xbox. Game Pass. This is a very easy question.
Right now.
Think smaller. I don't know what to think about that.
This would never happen, but the people who is making my Retroid Pocket 2, team up with them. Include some Nintendo games in here.
I like that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, it would be a great idea. Nintendo would never do it.
Let them make the GBA Classic.
That would be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say Discord.
Okay.
Ooh.
They kind of need it.
Yeah. Let Discord
That would be a good...
Let Discord integrate with the Nintendo accounts. Let Discord take over your voice chat solution and then put Discord on the Switch.
Yo.
That would be
awesome.
perfect.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't really have an answer.
But they'd lock it down, right? So like you'd have to have a Nintendo account as like when you opened it, maybe you could only talk to your Nintendo Switch friends. There's got to be some Nintendo throwback that
it's gonna be very narrow.
Do. Yeah, they're not just gonna like open it up the door. They got to do something with it. So maybe something like that.
Yeah, I wish I had thought about this more. Maybe I'll try to keep thinking. But I like those answers.
And maybe if you if you attach your Nintendo account to your Discord account, maybe in your Discord app, maybe you get like a Nintendo theme, like Discord layout. Like maybe it changes the
Ooh,
font,
like a whole
and
red
the colors.
Mario
Yeah.
I'll be down.
See, I got ideas, folks. Like
Mario Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like a natural salesperson at heart. You know, it's just like, how can we make this so good that people just have to have it?
Yeah.
You know, that's what I would go for.
I'm trying to think more on the lines of merchandise, like what Garrett said. I like merchandise.
I tried to think of like restaurants.
Restaurants?
Yeah. We were watching baseball the other day and Jack noticed that the Mariners have Nintendo stuff. He thought that was the coolest thing in the world.
Wait,
I
did
think.
you tell him that Nintendo used to own them?
Yeah. I was like, they owned a piece of them. He's like, why would they do that? I was like, just investment? Just money, man. Cash. That's why they do it. Cash money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love if they could sponsor the Browns. It'd be great.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Nintendo and Fangamer, the merch website, put a bunch of really good. Fangamer makes really good merchandise. They have
That'd be
stuff
cool.
for like Stardew Valley and Undertale, a lot of indie stuff, but they do bigger stuff too. And
Doesn't
I'll
Nintendo have
see what kind of...
deals like that with folks, or is it just Fangamer does a really good job at it?
I mean, Nintendo has their own merch stores. Like,
I mean, like when I go into like GameStop, like don't they think they have like Nintendo apparel and things like that?
they do, yeah. But I just really like Fangamer stuff.
Custom-made
they
Nintendo
have
merch.
Good merchandise.
Okay, so that's it.
I don't
They have
feel
good
like
stuff.
I look at... Yeah, I feel like I don't
Is it
look
like
at
original?
Nintendo's merchandise and be like, yeah, it's
Okay.
Fangamer stuff. Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'm with you. It just
Yeah, like,
I'm
they
just
have really
thinking
good
like Mario shirt.
plushies and shirts and like I feel like I don't look at like stuff on Nintendo's website and like they have like an Amazon shop and stuff and like it's like there's some good stuff, but like I feel like I look at Fangamer stuff. It's like, oh my god, I could spend like $1 million there.
Chris shows up. He says, "Hear me out, Nintendo and PSVG." We talked about that earlier, Chris, and we decided that I would have to leave. Like I think they would kick me out. I don't think they would let that happen. Rebecca and Nintendo, I think that makes a lot of sense.
There you go.
Could you imagine if like I don't watch them often, but I remember when they first came out there, it was their podcast hosts were doing like their Nintendo Minute things that they did. And they're coming out and they're just like, like they just have that corporate brand marketing, like, let us tell you all about why we're so excited about Miitopia and everything. And I watch those things. I'm like, I could never. Like
See,
I'm just.
That's me though. I want that job.
I'd be the world's worst person at that. You come in and be like, seriously, guys, this.
You would read the cards like, are we seriously gonna do this?
I'm not gonna say that.
So we should do that. We should have like a Nintendo Minute skit where you're Kit and I'm Krista.
Kids,
You
let
can
me
make
tell
an
you
SNL
something.
skit out of this.
The Switch got this new freaking rad game, and it's called No More Heroes. Chop people's heads off. Yeah, I'm so very not like corporate friendly.
And we play a guessing game on the whiteboard about No More Heroes.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Now
we're gonna do it. It's gonna be like an SNL skit though.
If they had Suda51 come through for an episode, perfect, right? Like rolling me out there, I'm perfect. Or Katana Zero, cool stuff, cool games. Doom, yeah, let's do it. But it's like, hey, Donnie, we need to talk to the kids about Miitopia. It's like,
here's why you need to get excited for Miitopia.
Yeah,
it was
sure
a 3DS game.
Yeah, and like they do all of those, right? Like Bakugan, there's a bunch of those, and they do them all the time. And I just watch their faces, and it's just like
it's like robots.
Yeah, the lifeless Stepford wife smile that you have to do that. Oh man, just that's why I'm not on the news. So I don't talk to the media. We did PR training at my job once, and my boss was like, "Absolutely not. He never sees a camera."
That's funny.
So just one more thing with Antonio's question, just one more. I think of the Pokemon dress shirts that are happening. I forgot that company's name.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
If they have a Nintendo like Mario and Donkey Kong, Zelda,
that Pokemon swag was hot.
Mm-hmm.
And I still want to get a dress shirt. It's just
they're like $200, right?
Expensive, yeah.
It's $100 a piece. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
it's like almost Ori special edition money.
it would be like a certain gift, like treat yourself type of
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, those are like lawyers types of people.
And don't you dare spill your coffee on it.
You know,
Don't
folks that
you dare.
actually wear suits daily and have the money for all that. Like that's for them. It's not necessarily.
There's some
for
wacky
me.
designs though in there.
Yeah, some of them it's like I didn't like them, but then other ones worked. Like there was no rhyme or reason. Like each one had a different pattern based on the Pokemon.
It was very fashionable, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I liked some of them.
They're going into 4th gen on that. I was like,
Are they
"Whoa."
already?
Yeah, they're
Oh,
they're
wow.
going completely into it. So.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
We have one
Ooh.
more question.
Hang on, Tony says Nintendo and
Oh.
any business that does headsets.
Mm.
Okay,
That'd be
No.
cool.
that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
A custom Bluetooth headset.
I remember on Wii U, this is the only story that I have for headsets. There was a Turtle Beach branded Wii U headset that I bought Jack. And I remember we were talking about Wii U one day, and like I told them that I bought those, and Kevin was like, "Why? Why did you do that?" Because I walked in the store and it's like the headset for Wii U, and it had the brand. I was like, "These got to be good." They weren't, but you know, like you think about it, like we have those the Astros, the Zelda
I got the
Astros.
Astro Zeldas.
Yeah, I got them too. They're beautiful.
Those
Those are worth having just to look at.
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
It'd be cool if they had them for like each of their big games, designs like that.
Well, now we can get into. How about if Nintendo partnered with somebody that made like awesome looking Joy-Cons? You know, like if they just partnered with somebody else that could make, you know, Splatoon and
Crazy looking
Zelda
designs,
Joy-Cons
yeah.
that looked cool.
Better than
Not even
that.
crazy looking designs, just
Yeah.
designs, Garrett. Regular designs.
Baby
Joy-Con.
steps.
Well, they kind of do that with Hori, don't they?
Yeah, they should do more.
Yeah.
Of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just do more of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Last question from Zelda Gift World. Do you read video game magazines? Did you read them when you were younger, like Nintendo Power, EGM, or Game Pro? If so, which were your favorites?
Did I read them? Absolutely. Did I have a subscription? Absolutely not. I read them when I was at the aisle at the Kroger or the gas station, and my mom told me I could get one, you know, for $2 to $3. So like I don't have like deep memories, but when I got the chance to have one, absolutely. And I remember like my early Game Informer, I think is a really big one for me. This is the first one I got like by myself. So like I used to read all the reviews and all the articles in those. But and also I'll say the nostalgic one, like the old PlayStation magazines that had like the demo discs and stuff. Like anything that had
Yeah.
like an included freebie, I was a sucker for as a kid. You
Yeah.
know, like any sort of pop out anything, a mail in something. Like if you mail in and get a lanyard or anything like that, or the demo disc was a must have. You know, because that was like it felt to me like it was a $5 game. You know, so like anytime I could get anything on the cheap like that, that was a big deal for me.
What about you, Garrett?
I did not read any magazines religiously. Now I've dabbled into. I think there was a Vita magazine that I was in for a little bit. I have a digital subscription of Game Informer, but I don't really read into it that much. I don't know. Magazines haven't really caught my eye compared to most other things. I don't know. But I do like looking into just certain specific articles. Like, oh, if there's something really catching my eye, I would like to go through and read a little bit. I think I remember one time I was in an airplane ride and there was a magazine right in front of me. I
Sky Mall.
forgot. What was it?
Sky Mall.
Was it Sky Mall? Oh, there was one magazine that I opened it and it was like, this is the new 3DS. And I'm like, wait.
Oh, that's cool.
There's a new system of Nintendo coming out. Like I just never knew at the time. So yeah, always kind of coincidental and just catching my eye here and there, but not religiously.
I didn't either. I feel like I didn't even really know about them when I was a kid until I got a little bit older, and a lot of them were already done by then. I wish I had. It sounds like they're very good memories. If there was like stuff like I don't think it was any of like the big name ones like Nintendo Power or like Game Pro or anything, but like stuff at Toys R Us, maybe it was advertising some of the new games or whatever. I would buy those, but I wouldn't call them like a magazine. I wish I did.
It's definitely like pre-internet, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
Like back
Yeah.
when I had my
I
T-Mobile
was probably too
Sidekick.
young.
Oh,
was
that was a good old. I really wanted a Sidekick when I was
Dude,
young.
that Sidekick, man.
They look
I
so
took out-
cool.
The contract that I signed was ridiculous. The way that T-Mobile let me do that, like they should be in jail.
It was a chick.
I worked so hard to have that, but I love that phone. But like back then, when the internet wasn't a thing, that's how I found out a lot about games. You know, not the big games, but like, you know, I think I found out about Battalion Wars like through a review in Game Informer. They're like, this game's awesome, 8.5, and I read it and looked at it. And I was like, that does look awesome. Next time I went to GameStop, that's the game, and I bought it. You know, that used to be a thing, and then now it's, you know, it's just a tweet. It's not even an
That's
article
probably
anymore.
how I didn't know about a lot of those games growing up. I feel like I only played the same series that I had known about, and I
Me too.
didn't really get into that much more because my only experience was maybe seeing a game on a shelf at Toys R Us. Or
I think that's how I
Circuit City or
found
whatever.
Fire Emblem, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely like not games that I was into, right? Like the wrestling game, a Madden game, you know, No More Heroes. Like those are games I was into. I knew about those games. But like games outside of my taste per se, like a really good review in Game Informer in like 2005 would get me to like maybe consider it. And I think that's why I picked up Fire Emblem like on GameCube or Wii back in the day. I think it was because there was a really good review, and I was like, oh, apparently this is good. Let's go check it out.
I think what just didn't really attract me with magazines is like, I feel like, I don't know, 50% of it was just fluff to me. I don't know. The magazines, gaming magazines I looked at specifically. And then the other ones, there's just maybe 2 or 3 articles that I was interested in.
Magazines were definitely a time of the 90s, like those
Yeah.
skater mags and stuff that came up. Some of the video game stuff I think were really cool. It's still really cool. A lot of them, like the Game Informers at the front of them, they'd have fan write-in submissions.
They still do that.
They're hilarious to read.
Oh,
back.
really?
Like if you go back in time and read like some old ones, highly entertaining. There's so many people that are like, you know, how dare you give Skyward Sword a 10 out of 10? This game is like there's all kinds of, and they would just print that stuff.
Wow.
They just like there's so many. That's what my lasting memory of that stuff is. There were so many that I'd read and be like, why did you print this? You just like hate mail. It was like mean
Did you
tweets.
read it?
I'm sorry.
You would think they would only post positive stuff.
Oh no, like they would post
Wow.
and I think that's what they would actually do. There'd be like 6 or 8 like letters or posts, and they would be like a really positive one contrasted by like the opposite opinion. And they would go through like 4 or 5 of them. It'd be either be like a reaction to like an article or a review score or like somebody. A lot of it was console wars. Remember, like we didn't have Twitter and stuff. Right.
That's true.
So like this console wars was happening, but it was happening in person. And like a lot of it would be that. They're like, how dare you recommend the PlayStation 2 over the Sega Saturn? We've got Die Hard coming out next month. And it's just like these ridiculous. That's the funny thing. It's like without any hindsight, when you read that stuff back, it's hysterical. It's like, man, people really thought the Dreamcast was going to be a thing. You know, there's stuff like that. It's very.
But think of it, the modern, I guess, equivalent to that would be opening up your Twitter feed, clicking on, you know, whatever tweet is hopping on that day, reading through the replies
Yeah.
and picking some random guy's opinion.
Yeah.
It's probably some trash opinion.
And they print it.
And that's
There.
immortalized in a magazine forever.
And the crazy thing is that like it captures a moment in time. You know, like you just realize you're like, this is the opinion of this person right now. And boy, 4 months later, they were going to have a different opinion.
Or regret it. Or,
Yeah, you know, it's like, this did not go well for them. This did not, you know, like, yeah. So it is interesting in that way. And we don't really have, I mean, I guess we do. We still do kind of have Twitter. Like there are still people that have opinions that like I remember for years, you know? So like, I guess it still kind of happens, but it's different. Yeah, it's just different. On Twitter, I think everything's a little more heightened. Like I never read them like they were. That's the funny thing is I never read the Game Informer stuff like it mattered or was real. You
It
know,
was
like
kind of a joke.
It's
Yeah.
just kind of a joke. I don't think anybody reads Twitter like that anymore. It's, you know, it's a little more heated, I think.
A little bit more, and everyone has a voice in Twitter
Super
too. And
serious.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, it's video games. Calm down. Calm down.
Elden Ring, you got, dude. I have muted that. I feel so bad for Jeff. Like I've muted like that stuff in his own Discord. I'm like, I can't take it anymore. I never want to hear about this game again.
Elden Ring is not even like, shouldn't
They-
be in anyone's radar, really.
They don't stop. They hit him like every day, like hundreds of Elden Ring
Why?
requests, because he gave them a morsel one time,
I know.
and they're rabid, and it's just like, oh god.
What do
Is
I even
it-
know about that game? Who's excited
Exactly.
about Elden Ring?
Exactly.
Isn't that the one
a
where we
lot of
just
people
saw,
are
like,
excited about
a
Elder Ring.
landscape?
Yeah,
Like,
it
that's
was
all that we know is it's a
literally
landscape
a logo. Yeah,
and a logo. Oh my god.
it's worse
So
than
ridiculous.
Elder Scrolls, man. Like, oh my gosh,
It is. It is way worse.
it's Dark Souls people, man.
Yeah.
They're rabid.
Is that it?
No, we managed to fill an hour and 40 minutes with no news.
Hey, we did
That-
it.
That's pretty good.
We did it. There you go,
We did
Nintendo
it.
Shack.
Thanks,
next
Hopefully you
guys.
guys enjoyed it, and hopefully we get some news. Nintendo, please say something.
Please say something.
Well,
We
the
can talk a
reviews
little bit about Pokemon Snap next week.
reviews should go up, right? So we should at least be able to have, I don't know, like what people are thinking about it. I'm not going to read reviews either, but we can talk
For
about
Snap?
a Metacritic or something. Yeah, I'm not going to.
Yeah, so reviews go up Wednesday at 9.
Okay. Yeah, so next week we can talk about what people think about it, if it's good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
And Rebecca can give us at least some of her early impressions.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully something else happens. I'll tell you more about this game that I'm playing because it's kind of neat, kind of janky. I don't mind a janky
Kinda
game
janky.
I don't mind a janky game as long as it's got charm. So I'm gonna go
There you
surf
go.
around on my shield a little bit. Garrett,
Cool.
Yeah.
gotta play something else.
No.
He's playing Chrono Trigger. All
I'm-
is good with the world.
I'm about to beat Persona Strikers. Well, I got to platinum the game, so it'll be a little bit more, but I'm almost done.
It's
Don't
too
worry.
much. But regardless of whatever there is, we'll find time. Hopefully, if you guys send us more questions too. So until then, Shackers, we'll catch you next week. Good night, good boys.
Bye-bye.